So today we're going to be going through lesson 5, session 4, sorry. Reminder to make sure you get your iReady lesson done by Friday at 11:59 p.m. if you have not yet, and then to get your workbook open to page 111 to take notes. Then your homework is going to be question 8 on page 114. So to begin, again, we've talked about this. So a dilation is that transformation that makes a scale copy of a figure, which either reduces it by making it smaller or enlarges it by making it bigger. So the first question here for apply it says that they draw this triangle ABC in the coordinate plane like so. And she draws it using a scale factor of 2/3 to form triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Then she dilates A prime, B prime, C prime using a scale factor of 1/2 to form A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. So we need to find out what the coordinates are and show our work. So the first step is we're going to take that scale factor of 2/3 and take each of our points and multiply that by our scale factor. So our A was at originally -3, -3. So when we multiply -3 times 2/3, we get -2. So our A prime will be at -2, -2. Our B was at 3, 3. So again, we take those each and multiply by 2/3, where we get +2, +2. So there's our B prime. Our C prime was at 6, 0. 6 times 2/3 is 4, and 0 times 2/3 is still 0. So that would be our C prime. From there, it's asking us to take that triangle in red, so our first dilated figure, and dilate it again with that scale factor of 1/2 to form triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. So we would take our A prime at -2, -2, and multiply our x and our y value by 1/2. So -2 times 1/2 is -1. So our A double prime would be right here. Our B prime was at 2, 2. So again, we take 2 and multiply by 1/2 and get 1. So our B double prime is here. And then our C prime was at 4, 0. So when we do 4 times 1/2, we get 2. 0 times 1/2 is 0. So our C double prime will be right here. Then it's just asking what our coordinates are, so we would look at our graph and write down our coordinates so that we can see that our A double prime is at -1, -1, B double prime is at 1, 1, and C double prime is at 2, 0. The next question goes with number 2. It says that Caleb wants to prove that figures A and B are similar. What sequence of transformations could Caleb perform to prove that the figures are similar to one another? So first we need to ask, are the figures the same orientation? If they are, that means we're just doing a translation. If they are not, that means that there must be a reflection or rotation involved. The next part asks, are the figures the same size? If they are not the same size, then there is a dilation. And if they are the same size, if they're the same size, there's no dilation. And if they are not the same size, there is a dilation. So this means we can see that we start by reflecting A over a certain axis to get to B. So if we're trying to go from A to B, we need to reflect over the y-axis in order to get it into that orientation that we need it. We also need to, from there, translate it 1 unit to the left, and then dilate it with that scale factor of 2. So we would start by reflecting it over the y-axis, translating them all 1 to the left, and then dilating with that scale factor of 2 to make sure that it's large enough to cover all of the points. Here we see that Yolanda designs a holiday card that measures 3 inches for our base by 5 inches for our height, and the card is represented by figure ABCD here. She enlarges it to form a new figure called A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, and she uses a scale factor of 2 and asks what are the coordinates of B prime. So we would take our B point here and multiply it by that scale factor of 2. So our B point is at 3 for our X and 5 for our Y. So we start by doing 3 as our x value times 2 and get 6. And then we take 5 times our scale factor of 2 and get 10. So that means that our answer will be 6 over 10. Next we see that Wyatt chose B at 5, 7 as the correct answer. So we're wondering, how did he get this answer? It's possible that he may have added 2 instead of multiplied by 2. So he may have thought that 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So that's how he got his answer. So he added when he should have multiplied. Here we see that triangle ABC was rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise to form triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Triangle A prime, B prime, C prime was then dilated using a scale factor of 1 over 3 to result in A double prime, B double prime, C double prime that we see in this graph here. So in this case, this is our final image, and we need to find the coordinates of our original image. So the first thing we want to do, so these are our points, these are our final points here. So we see that A double prime is at negative 2, 1. So we want to do the reverse order to find our original and do the opposites. So the reverse order, that means we're now going to start with a dilation, but instead of doing a dilation of 1 over 3, we're going to flip that so it's 3 over 1. So we're going to take each of those points here and multiply by 3. So negative 2 times 3 is 6, negative 6, and 1 times 3 is 3. Again, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 3 is 3. And then negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. So our negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. So again, since we're going from our final figure to our original figure, we have to go in the reverse order, and we have to do the multiplicative inverse here. So instead of 1 over 3, you flip it so it's 3 over 1. So you take each of our final figures and multiply by 3. And that's how we get our numbers here. From there, instead of doing a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation, we need to do the opposite, which will be a 90 degrees clockwise rotation. When we do a 90 degrees clockwise rotation, you flip the order of your x and y values here, and you make what was originally your x value its opposite. So negative 6 is now positive 6, and 3 is now here. And you would do that for all of your points. And that would give you your original points here. So we see that A is at 3, 6, B is at 3, negative 3, and C is at 9, 6. So again, this one we're going from our final image and trying to find our original image, so we need to do them in the reversed order. Next we have question 5. We can see that Gabe dilates the floor by a scale factor of 2 over 3 to form G prime, H prime, I prime, J prime. So they're going to take this figure and dilate it with that scale factor of 2 over 3, and then he wants to translate it 3 units to the right and 3 units up to form the final figure. And we need to draw that figure. So again, the first step we're going to do is we're going to multiply each of our points by that scale factor of 2 over 3. So G here, we're going to take this point, which is at negative 6, 9, and take that negative 6, multiply by 2 over 3 to get negative 4. And then we're going to take that 9 and multiply by 2 over 3 and get 6. So here's our G prime. H is at 9, 9, so we would take each of those by 2 over 3 and get 6, 6. Our I is at 9, 3, so when we do 9 times our scale factor of 2 over 3, we get 6. And when we take 3 times our scale factor of 2 over 3, we get 2. So we have our I prime. And then we do the same for that J as well. From there, we need to translate the figure 3 units to the right and 3 units up. So we'll take our G prime and go 3 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then go 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. So there's our G double prime. Do the same for our H prime, go 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then go 3 up, 1, 2, 3. Same for our I prime, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and 3 up, 1, 2, 3. And then again, finally for our J prime, go 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. And that gives us our J double prime, like so. So whenever you're doing sequences of transformations, it's best to just think of it as going step by step. Then it's asking us to get our final points. So we can see that G double prime ends up being at -1 for our X value and 9 for our Y value. H double prime ends up being at 9, 9. I double prime at 9, 5. And J double prime at -1, 5. Then it talks about why do you think the parallel sides will remain parallel. And we see that a dilation keeps the same angle measurement, so the shape's going to stay the same. So if our rectangles have parallel lines before, they're still going to stay parallel now. So remember, a dilation only changes the size, it does not change the shape of the figure. Next we have question 7. We see that Maya performed 3 transformations on this figure W, X, Y, Z to form this final figure of W double prime, Z double prime, or triple prime, Y double prime, triple prime, and X triple prime. And these are similar figures because they're the same shape, just not the same size. We see that she dilates by that scale factor of 2, rotates 90 degrees counterclockwise, and then reflects across the x-axis. And the question was whether the order matters. So we're going to try it this way, and then we're going to try a different way to see whether the order does matter. So if we did the reverse, and if this time we started by rotating 90 degrees clockwise, our figure would move to the right 1 quadrant and move to this quadrant around like right here. This is also after that scale factor of 2. From there, we reflect across the x-axis, which moves it here. So again, this is just that regular order of we use that scale factor of 2, then we rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise, and then reflect across the x-axis to get our final image here, as we see. However, if we do it the opposite way, so if we start by reflecting across the x-axis and then rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise, we can see our final image will not align with our image here, which shows that the order does matter. It's important that you go in the sequence of transformations that it tells you to, or else your final image may not be the same orientation and same alignment as the one. So it's always important to think about that the order of transformations does indeed matter. Lastly, your homework is going to be page 114, question 8. That's going to be due tomorrow, November 13th at 9 a.m. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is what your homework looks like. So you're going to draw any triangle in the coordinate plane and label it as ABC. You're going to take that triangle and transform it using one rigid transformation. So that's either a translation, a rotation, or a reflection. And then from there, you are going to dilate that figure, and you're going to draw and label that final image as A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Make sure that you label what transformation you used, as well as what scale factor you used to go from your original to your final.